I think it's hard for me to talk about because cats feel so basic. I'm sorry. Hi, my name is Jing Wei, and I am an artist based in Brooklyn, New York. And this is my mood board. In this video, I'm going to share some of my favorite experiences and influences that have helped shape my journey as an artist. The first item on my mood board is a Magna Doodle. Oh, look. My parents got me this toy when I was probably around 4 or 5. I think it was probably my first gateway to drawing item. I was very ahead of my time. I was doing a lot of observational drawing. I think I drew a lot of birds, a lot of things out the window. Oh no, it's a chicken. I was trying to just make it be a regular bird. There was a huge courtyard in my apartment complex, so I think I would just spend a lot of time drawing whatever I saw out there. Ta-da! So the next item on my mood board is Doraemon comics. This was one of my favorite things to read as a kid. So how would I describe this? Let's see. Okay, so the premise of these comics is that Doraemon, this character here, is a robot cat from the future, and his owner, I think it was his future descendants who sent this futuristic robot back. Okay, that's not a concise description at all. It is wacky. Initially drew me to this series was definitely the way the characters were drawn, and I really loved the pacing and the comedic aspect. I think I just thought they were really funny. Over time, I have noticed that cats and animals in general have shown up a lot in my work, so it's no surprise that it kind of started with something like Doraemon, where I was just introduced to how a character can be anthropomorphic and take on a personality of its own. The next item on my mood board is American snacks. So one of my favorite snacks at the time was Cool Whip, like this tub right here. I remember us discovering this because we thought it was butter and opened it up, and I was like, what is this insane, magical, cloud-like substance? The commercials kind of created this world for me that I was really fascinated by, because the commercials would make these foods feel so perfect and idealized, and then I almost became more obsessed with the concept of the food than the food itself, if that makes sense. You know, the perfect dollop of whipped cream. It almost felt like a toy, you know, like that just felt so fun and so appealing. These cute foods. To this day, I still draw perfect little Cool Whip or whipped cream dollops. It's just very satisfying to me. I can probably say that this is where it all started. The next thing on my mood board is 90s after-school cartoons. I just came home after school every day. My parents would drop me off, and I would just watch a block of television. And honestly, it was because that block of TV at the time, they were all like top-notch, no-skip entertainment. A lot of duck shows, all fantastic. And because I was the new kid and I was new to the country, my English wasn't great. I think I just wanted to assimilate so badly, and I just wanted to make friends, you know, and be liked. And so I think I was seeing my drawing skills as a form of social currency, and I was able to kind of make friends that way. Kids started to come to me for drawings. Like, they would just request things and characters that they liked, and that would kind of be a fun way of interacting with them for me.
Jane, can I make a request?
Sure.
Can you draw Scrooge McDuck?
I can try. Okay. I feel so nervous. I think he had a top hat, right? Okay, there's a top hat. He is a duck, obviously. We're gonna do the duck bill. I think, did he have like little spectacles? He was old, he was old, right? That was like the sign of how you knew someone was old, is they had these tiny little glasses. I don't know what his hair looked like. It's all downhill from here. I don't think any of the ducks wore pants. I'm just making it up at this point. Can we see what it actually looks like?
Just like
Okay, not terrible. Could be worse. There you go, Bill.
Thank you. It looks great. It looks great.
Hope we can be friends now. So the next item on my mood board is 90s PC games. I was introduced to these games through watching my dad play them because he would come home from work and sit down at the family computer and just crank on the Wolfenstein 3D. And it was a really nice bonding experience. The graphic elements of all of those games was just mostly what was really appealing to me. Their world set up in such a simplified way, but it also allowed you to enter the world with ease and then discover the complexities from there. And I think that that's how I like to approach my illustrations as well, because I think that there's something really beautiful about being able to simplify complex items and then introduce stories through that. The next item on my mood board is early 2000s emo music. So we're fully out of the 90s now. I grew up in the Bay Area, and there was a very extensive and awesome community-focused show scene at the time. I mean, when you went to the shows, it was like, oh, everyone has all this angst, this like unfounded angst. The music was just so emotionally charged, and I think that that was an interesting experience for me. I feel very embarrassed talking about all of this right now. I want to like proudly own the emo side of me, and I think I do a little bit now. I do like to make work that leans a little more melancholy, so I'm sure that that was, you know, the roots of it started as my angsty high school self.
I think we hit that. I don't think we need to spend any more time there.
Thank you. The next thing on my mood board is the graphic novel Epileptic by David B. One of my friends recommended me this graphic novel, and it just completely changed my world. Like, it was such a mind-blowing tome of a piece, and I just couldn't fathom how somebody could create such an ambitious piece of work. I don't know if I can draw a one-to-one comparison to my work. It was maybe just the general feeling that these works gave me. Maybe I was just inspired by someone's ability to express complex emotion in a way that was so effective, and that inspired me to try to do that with some of my work as well. Next up on my mood board is the animated short, The Hedgehog and the Fog by Yuri Norstein. So I came across this animation because I took an animation class. It was a stop motion class in college. As inspiration, we were shown a lot of classic, iconic animated films, including The Hedgehog and the Fog, and this was the one that really, really stuck with me, and I think probably I drew influence and inspiration from for years to come. I think I was very impressed by how labor-intensive the process was, and that was very appealing to me, and I think it probably inspired me to try more labor-intensive things like wood cutting. I was doing printmaking for a really long time, and I think for some reason my brain just really locked into, if it takes a long time to do, then the thing must be good. I don't know if that necessarily is true, and now I've kind of let go of that. Maybe it's the immigrant mentality of, you know, always kind of overcoming something or almost being comfortable with some level of work and struggle. More than anything, I think I was just really impressed by that animation because of how beautiful the final product was. Next thing on my mood board is Asian cinema, specifically the movie Yi Yi by Edward Yang. I think I stumbled upon Yi Yi just completely by accident, and I gave it a shot, and it's still one of my favorite movies to date. I think it just really unlocked something in me because I feel like up until then, I had just been focusing so much on trying to immerse myself in a culture that wasn't my own. And then watching a movie like Yi really just catapulted me back to reminding me what my identity was. And I think that that was just a really powerful moment because there was so much in the movie that I felt like I could connect with. Generational themes, you know, food themes, just some of the cultural nuances that I couldn't really pick up in other works. It does kind of go back to the theme of finding something beautiful in the mundane. And I think that this movie had a lot of those moments that were appealing to me. The last item on my mood board is Little Dumplings. So Little Dumplings was this preschool program that was an immersive Mandarin class. And the students were 2 to 3-year-old babies. And I taught this class when I first moved to New York and I was looking for a part-time job. We would do some puppeteering, some dancing, and story time, and then also crafts at the end of the class. And that was probably the highlight for me because I got to design these crafts and I feel like it overlapped with some of the work that I was making at the time. So it was particularly enjoyable for me to be working with paper and foam and googly eyes and just a lot of tactile items. And at the time I was making a lot of anthropomorphic characters, so I think that that had a lot of overlap with some of these crafts that I was making. It's not a surprise that these are all food-related items, and I think the kids really got a kick out of that. So, but mostly, I feel like a lot of these crafts were just for me most of the time, but hopefully the kids like them too. So I do get asked this question a lot, which is what is your inspiration or what are your inspirations? And I've always found that to be a really difficult question to answer, mostly because I just could never narrow it down to 1 or 2 or even a handful of things. It's been really cool and definitely very nostalgic to run through all of these items on the mood board because it sort of affirmed to me that where you end up is just an accumulation of so many experiences and so many things that you gather throughout your life. I think that over the years, my work has gone in a bit of an unexpected direction, but it's been really cool to see that it still makes sense and it's still part of me and it's still part of the combination of all of these things that I've found interesting over the course of my life. I think that you do end up drawing what you know a lot of the time, and for me, it's what I've experienced here, and obviously also dating all the way back to when I first had a Magna Doodle in my hands.